Randy, it's
Eddie.
lunchtime.
It is, and it's a Monday.
It is. It is Monday.
And I set my clocks the right way, so yeah. So I'm on time today.
I paid extra money for my clocks. They automatically upload. They change on their own.
You know me by now, Teddy. I carry this kind of stuff around, so everything I have is I can hear it go tick 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 tick.
Does yours have a little pendulum that does this?
We used to have a cuckoo clock when I was a kid, and it was in my room because I guess I was too young to vote it out of my room. And that silly thing would go off, and this little bird would come out. And so, yeah, that's why I grew up as demented as I am. I kept hearing these cuckoo sounds throughout the day and night all the time. Yeah. So anyway, hey, listen, it's a Monday. We have a special guest coming up. Teddy, how about we talk a little bit about our guest and we'll share kind of a quick story or two.
Yeah, on Wednesday, like Wednesday's the 17th, 16th,
St. Patrick's Day.
17th. Yeah, Wednesday 17th, noon Eastern Standard Time. Lunch conversations with Randy and Teddy, and our special guest this week is a lady by the name of Janae Adams. Janae has a really interesting story about how she overcame a serious challenge in life called debt.
Yeah.
And now she runs around the country, maybe not so much run around the country anymore, but she gets the opportunity to go speak to lots of different groups about debt and debt management. And she's really got some interesting ideas about managing expenses, which I thought when Janae and I were talking that, wow, it would be good to have this conversation with our folks on our Wednesday show, because a lot of folks that show up end up getting, lowered income. And if you have lower income, you've got to figure out a way to lower the expenses. So just some ideas. It'd be a great chat. And she's a fun lady to have on the show. And thus she'll join us on Wednesday.
Well, it's St. Patrick's Day, so we talk about the green on St. Patrick's Day. And so why not talk a little bit about money? And money is one of those topics that for a lot of folks, me included, it's just not something I like to talk a whole lot about because I don't have any.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But I think there's a difference between wants and needs. And as we get older, I think, and hopefully a little more mature, that we realize that just because we may want something doesn't mean we need it. And are we willing to trade what I'll call the comfort or the peace of mind of having some level of financial cushion versus saying, okay, I'm paycheck to paycheck. I can't take it with me. Therefore, I'm going to spend it as it comes in. And then next thing you know, health issues pop up or you lose your job. Yeah. And now what? So lots to cover. Again, I'm not a financial analyst, and I'm certainly not a tax advisor, so you don't want to come to me for financial help. But I do think that as we can create cushions in our lives, whether it's allowing extra time or having extra dollars available that we could have spent but we saved for the rainy day kind of thing, I think that has value for us. I know our guest last week, Melissa Hughes, talked about stress and uncertainty and how that impacts your brain. So what can we do within our power to lessen that stress and uncertainty? And so I think Janae will have some really, really good topics. I know she's got a great story, Teddy, and I'm looking forward to hearing it. Again, she travels the country sharing it. So awesome. Looking forward to it on Wednesday. What you got?
It'll be fun. Yeah. So, and as you and I have committed to for almost a year now, we bring people who are smarter than us to the show.
I won't go there. It's a Monday. I'll let that one go.
Well, that's my mantra. I look for people.
Hey, Teddy, how do I look today, by the way?
You look good, Ray. Looks like you might have missed an hour of sleep.
It's all right. I'm making up for it right now. All right.
Yeah.
No, I bought a new camera.
Yeah, the camera looks good. The lighting's good
right there, and so now it's getting closer to high definition. So you're going to see all the bags and sags and wrinkles and all that stuff. So we need to invest in a makeup crew, Teddy. I think a wardrobe crew, a lighting crew. I think we need that this year.
We're going to need that. We're going to also need to figure out a way to cover those expenses, Randy. So,
I
so
thought
we
you were
better
covered.
talk to Janae. We were to talk to Janae on Wednesday about that before we pull the trigger.
I thought you had all the answers on that, but I'm sure she will too.
Yeah. So fortunately, I haven't turned on the feature in Restream, which is what we use for live streaming. I haven't turned that feature on that really brings out that high definition. And so both I and based on your chat, you are fortunate in that regard. Hey, let's talk a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah.
I got a story, but I also got a piece of news. So I'll share a piece of news.
All right.
So I get around, I talk to a lot of people, I visit a lot of networking groups, and as a LinkedIn strategist, I talk to a lot of people in sales organizations, sales departments, business development, and marketing. Randy, it's interesting. I'd love to hear your take on this, what you're hearing, but I am hearing more and more conversations about we're now looking for people. And the lady this morning used these words. She says, all these organizations are now moving into Q2. They've gotten through Q1. Right. They're moving into Q2 on the front side of exiting the pandemic. And that is one of the reasons why we're seeing an uptick in job openings and an uptick in organizations looking for people. What are you seeing, Randy?
Yeah, and of course, I work with Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina and run our professional center. In fact, I just sent an email to my boss and to some of the other directors and VPs at Goodwill. I happened to read an article today from the Society for Human Resource Management. And essentially, it kind of touched on what you had said about the fact that there'll be a tsunami of job hunters. And I think statistically, that study that the SHRM or somebody within SHRM conducted was, I think about 50% of those surveyed said that they're going to conduct an active job search in 2021. That just like back in the 08-09 recession, if you had a job back then, or if you've had a job through COVID, you just hung on.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, there were fewer jobs out there, but you know what? If you took a new job, you're the low man on the totem pole, so to speak. And if times continue to be tough, which one are they going to cut? So if you had a job, you stayed there. Yeah. And now with COVID not being over with, but I think as we can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel and it's not a freight train coming at us, I think now we can, companies are going to do more hiring. And so why don't I put my toe in the water? Yeah. And what can we do for those watching that are in leadership roles? What can we do as leaders within our organization to help retain some of our key performers? And a lot of the reason that these guys are looking for work now is not just money. That's usually one of the big ones is money, lack of promotion, your boss, that kind of stuff. But feeling disengaged, working from home, working more hours, you don't feel part of that corporate culture, you don't feel appreciated, all of those kinds of extras, if you will, that play into say, you know what, maybe I ought to go somewhere else. But we'll see. And I think that'll unfold as we go throughout the year. But that'll be a great topic. And I'm going to reach out to some of my fellow SHRM folks, and we're going to have a person or two that'll come in probably around summertime or so and talk about that very topic, about what's going to happen in the second half of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be a great conversation. Now, when I heard this discussion happen this morning, about second quarter, more people are going to start hiring. Then about right around the same time, I had a lady reach out to me on LinkedIn, and she says, Teddy, I can't find a filter in when I look for jobs that talks about company size. And so I don't want to dig into that, but what I do want to share is this, that in my chat with her, I said to her, don't get so tied up on LinkedIn, Indeed, Simply Hired, Monster, Career Builder, Ladders, etc. Don't get so tied up with trying to build the most powerful filters and hope and pray that you find the job you're looking for or a job you're looking for. What I encouraged her to do was to focus more on companies that are of interest to her, who may have a need. Maybe you don't see a published need, but if you find companies that are of interest who may have a use or need for your services,
Mhm.
Then find the human who knows the human in that company and see if you can get a conversation.
Sure.
Now, when I said this to her, she was like, oh my God, I never thought about this. And this is a lady, I looked at her LinkedIn profile.
Mhm.
She's had her job for 15 years and now she's out of work. So for 15 years, she's never thought about the need and the process for finding the next great job.
Mm-hmm. She's not alone. A lot like that.
Yeah.
And I see that at our professional center. So we do what we can. I provide a couple of LinkedIn workshops a week. We do our Wednesday show, and we're both happy to try to help folks really just get that next job, whatever it is that makes them happy. Then we're happy. That's what I tell people. I'm not a recruiter, but I can help steer you to some, and I can also help you with that job hunt process.
Yeah. And so a tip, an idea off the top of your head, Randy?
Stay out of the rain. How's that? Teddy, I ain't got nothing for you today.
You got nothing today?
Got nothing. It's a Monday. No, I could make one up as I go, but something to think about from last week. I had a discussion, and it dealt with mindset. And it was one of my clients, and she was very much focused on the end goal, if you will, making up for lost time. She'd felt like a lot of her career, she hadn't fully leveraged her education and her skills. And so she had been underemployed. And her mindset was to say, I have to make up for all of those years that I feel like I didn't maximize my income. So I need to go from here to here in terms of income. And unless I can do that, I'm a failure. And so first of all, in this market, are you going to realistically be able to go from here to here? Yeah. That's one thing. But what I try to do is say, look at it as a journey, and each step, incremental accomplishments, if you will. Just something you can see progress. Yeah. Otherwise, she's going to be forever mired in that muck of defeat. And that's going to play out in the people that she talks to. And basically, she's just been sending out, for the most part, answering ads. And so she's setting herself up for defeat. Look for those small victories, the small gains, and they ultimately lead to where you want to go. But it's an incremental process. It really is.
You said a phrase, Randy, that I wrote down a note. There are two things that we can impact that can help us achieve our goals better. Number one is skill set. Every day, be looking for an opportunity to improve your skills. And this doesn't mean go back to college, and doesn't mean you have to go get an MBA or a doctorate. Just every day, look for a way to improve your skill set. I have queued, by the way, Randy, means put in line.
Okay, you don't mean like a cue ball like that.
No. Different cue.
All right.
I've queued up in LinkedIn Learning, because I'm fortunate I get access to LinkedIn Learning.
Yep.
A class on marketing. And it's a new class. This is like my third one in the past 2 months. This was 50 minutes. It's 50 minutes of, ideas that I have not, maybe I haven't experienced or practiced on how to market. So number one is improve your skill set in however you can. Number two, and probably more impactful, is change your mindset.
Yep. Your attitude. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those are things you can control. The other being your time and how you devote it. So those are all things that I think a lot of us need to be reminded of. So looking forward, we've got Janae Adams coming in on Wednesday, coming up at noon Eastern. We have our big anniversary show on April 7th. We're inviting back 10 of our, we've had about 55 or so guests that have appeared throughout the year. But yeah, we're going to have a 90-minute show on the 7th, and looking forward to revisiting some of these folks to see how COVID has impacted their business, maybe reminisce a little bit about some of the topics they covered, because we've covered a lot of turf, Teddy. And I tell you, I've said this many times, it's almost like a lunch and learn that we can sort of conduct as we go and just drive the conversation. I've learned a lot and appreciated our time together. Really have.
All right. It's 12:15, buddy.
Yep. Time to go.
I've got to go. You got to get you on your next task. I will see you on Wednesday, buddy.
That'll work. Have a great week. Catch you later.
Bye.